Have you taken a moment recently to contemplate what your life might genuinely feel like if you navigate your later years primarily on your own? It's a consideration many individuals tend to postpone, assuming it's a bridge they'll cross when they come to it, only to find that solitary reality arrives sooner than expected. Friends might relocate, cherished family members may pass away, and the rhythm of daily existence can become significantly quieter than ever anticipated. When this happens, the emotional weight of the situation can truly settle in. We understand these transitions here at Old Age Wisdom. If finding ways to enrich your later years resonates with you, consider liking this video or subscribing to our channel for more insights. Navigating the aging process without a constant companion can present some significant emotional hurdles. However, there's a crucial point to embrace. This phase of life doesn't need to be approached with apprehension or melancholy. Growing older by oneself does not automatically equate to a future filled with loneliness or unfulfilled wishes. On the contrary, adopting a positive perspective and integrating a few straightforward yet potent daily practices can help you cultivate an existence that is vibrant, deeply meaningful, and satisfying entirely on your own terms. It's about finding contentment and purpose within your current circumstances, recognizing the strengths you possess. Today, we're delving into 6 fundamental actions you can incorporate into your daily life to help maintain mental acuity, physical resilience, emotional bonds, and a genuine sense of inner tranquility. It's often the small, consistent choices, repeated day after day, that distinguish a feeling of isolation from a feeling of empowerment and control. If you are prepared to consciously build a life that you find fulfilling, even if it unfolds more quietly than before, then you have certainly come to the right place. Let us embark on this exploration together, uncovering pathways to a rewarding solo journey in the golden years. Consider establishing a consistent daily routine. Have you ever experienced waking up to a day that seems to stretch out indefinitely, lacking a defined structure or sense of purpose? Particularly when navigating later life alone, the absence of a predictable daily framework can subtly erode your motivation, diminish your capacity for joy, and weaken your feeling of connection to the world around you. Without a comforting rhythm, days can easily blur together, transforming what might initially feel like liberating freedom into a hollow sense of emptiness over time. We believe finding structure is vital at every age. If you agree, perhaps give this video a thumbs up or subscribe to Old Age Wisdom for more discussions like this. However, here lies an encouraging truth. Implementing even a simple daily routine possesses the power to completely reshape your experience of aging. This isn't about rigidly scheduling every single minute or burdening yourself with endless tasks. Rather, it involves creating reliable points of reference throughout your day, small, dependable activities that provide stability, offer comfort, and instill a renewed sense of direction. Think about Robert, for instance. Following the passing of his wife, Robert, a 76-year-old retired engineer, found his sleep schedule disrupted, often skipped meals, and spent excessive hours passively watching television. The days drifted by indistinctly, and a profound sense of loneliness began to take hold. But his entire outlook shifted when he made the conscious choice to construct a gentle, manageable daily routine for himself. He began by setting a consistent wake-up time of 7 a.m., making his bed each morning, incorporating a 20-minute walk through his neighborhood, prioritizing the preparation of nutritious meals, and scheduling regular afternoon phone calls with his grandchildren. Gradually, Robert noticed his mind feeling sharper and less clouded. His overall mood significantly improved, and his life once again felt imbued with purpose and meaning. You don't require an overly strict or complicated schedule to achieve similar benefits. Start with small, manageable steps. Establish a regular time to wake up. Cultivate the habit of savoring a nourishing breakfast, perhaps enjoying oatmeal topped with berries or eggs accompanied by toast. Make it a point to step outside for several minutes of fresh air daily, even if it's merely sitting comfortably on your porch. Introduce simple rituals, like watering your houseplants at a designated time each day, spending a few minutes journaling before bed, or listening to soothing music every evening. The essential principle is this: select activities that genuinely make you feel good and make an effort to repeat them consistently each day. A structured day serves as a powerful reminder that your time continues to hold immense value and significance. It effectively replaces aimless drifting with intentional, deliberate living. It helps transform feelings of loneliness into a sense of peaceful, contented solitude. So, if your mornings currently feel directionless or your evenings seem particularly heavy, take one small, concrete step today. Jot down perhaps 3 simple things you intend to accomplish tomorrow in a basic sequence. Then, gently follow through. Because when you consciously build a routine that nurtures your physical well-being, stimulates your mind, and uplifts your spirit, you are not merely marking time. You are actively creating a life filled with small, beautiful, and meaningful victories every single day. Next, prioritize incorporating gentle physical movement into every day. Have you perhaps observed how tempting it can become to adopt a more sedentary lifestyle as the years advance? Maybe sitting feels considerably more appealing than standing for extended periods. Perhaps walking even a few blocks requires a bit more effort than it once did. While a certain degree of slowing down is a natural aspect of the aging process, becoming excessively inactive can quietly diminish your physical strength, sap your energy levels, and potentially compromise your cherished independence. The encouraging news is that movement represents one of the most accessible and profoundly effective forms of medicine available to you. You certainly don't need to engage in strenuous activities like running marathons or lifting substantial weights. What truly matters is moving your body gently, consistently, and, ideally, joyfully every single day. Consider the story of Eleanor, a 78-year-old retired librarian. After concluding her long career, she found herself spending many hours seated, engrossed in reading or watching television. Initially, this seemed like a harmless way to enjoy retirement, but over time, she noticed her legs growing progressively weaker. Ascending stairs became a noticeable challenge, and even navigating the aisles of the grocery store felt unexpectedly exhausting. Her initial thought was, well, this must simply be the reality of getting older. However, one afternoon, she made the decision to join a local walking group specifically designed for seniors. She began cautiously, walking for just a few minutes each day. Gradually, as she persisted, her energy levels began to rebound. Her posture noticeably improved, and she even found that her sleep quality enhanced significantly at night. Eleanor's transformation didn't occur instantaneously. She didn't push herself into demanding or uncomfortable workouts. Instead, she simply committed to moving a little bit more each day, and this consistent, gentle effort made a world of difference in her overall well-being. You can absolutely achieve similar positive results. Begin with something small and inherently kind to your body. Perhaps take a refreshing 10-minute walk in the crisp morning air. Gently stretch your arms and legs before you sit down for breakfast. Try marching lightly in place while catching up on the news. If you happen to have limitations in mobility, explore options like gentle chair-based exercises or consider water aerobics classes often available at local community centers. The true key lies in consistency, not necessarily in high intensity. Regular movement helps keep your muscles strong, maintains flexibility in your joints, supports healthy heart function, and contributes to keeping your mind sharp. Even incorporating a small amount of physical activity each day can significantly aid in protecting you from falls, improving your overall balance, and making everyday tasks, like carrying groceries or rising from a chair, noticeably easier and safer. So, if you've been feeling somewhat sluggish, experiencing stiffness, or feeling a bit disconnected from your physical self, let today mark a potential turning point. Find one small, manageable way to move your body. Rediscover the simple pleasure of being active. Because every single step you take is more than just physical motion. It's a beautiful affirmation that your body still possesses so much vitality, inherent strength, and wonderful possibility yet to be explored. Furthermore, make it a priority to stay socially connected. Have you ever registered how even a brief, pleasant conversation can noticeably elevate your entire mood for the day? Hearing a friendly voice on the phone, sharing a moment of laughter with someone, or even exchanging a simple hello with a passerby can make the world feel considerably less isolating and distinctly brighter. Yet, as we progress through the years, maintaining those social ties often requires more conscious effort. And paradoxically, This is precisely when nurturing those connections becomes most crucial for our well-being. The reality is that loneliness isn't merely a transient feeling of sadness. It can subtly exert detrimental effects on your overall health. Numerous studies have indicated that chronic loneliness correlates with an increased risk for conditions such as heart disease, depression, and even cognitive decline, including memory issues. But here is the wonderfully positive aspect. Fostering connection is fundamentally a choice, and cultivating it is a daily habit that you can actively build and strengthen over time. Consider the experience of Frank, an 80-year-old widower. Following the loss of his beloved wife, he found himself gradually sinking into extended periods of quiet solitude, often just waiting passively for the telephone to ring. The feeling of loneliness weighed heavily upon him. Then, one afternoon, he made a simple yet pivotal decision. He picked up the phone and called an old friend with whom he hadn't spoken in several months. That single phone call evolved into regular weekly chats. Shortly thereafter, Frank took another proactive step by joining a local senior walking group, and he even ventured into the digital realm by signing up for an online chess club. Within just a few months, Frank was no longer merely passing the hours. He was actively engaging with others, laughing, learning new things, and experiencing a renewed sense of vitality and engagement with life. You don't necessarily need grand social events or large parties to maintain meaningful social connections. It's often the small, genuine interactions woven into your daily life that make the most significant difference. Make it a habit to pick up the phone and call a friend just to check in. Consider inviting a neighbor over for a casual cup of coffee or tea. Explore joining a community group, perhaps a book club centered around shared literary interests, or participate in an online community dedicated to a hobby you enjoy. Even brief, friendly exchanges at the grocery store counter or casually chatting with someone you encounter at the local park can infuse your day with warmth and a sense of belonging. Technology also presents new avenues for connection. Video calls, online forums, and various social media platforms make it easier than ever to stay in touch, even when loved ones reside far away. If you feel hesitant or unsure about navigating technology, please don't hesitate to ask a family member, a friend, or even staff at your local library for assistance. It is genuinely never too late to learn new skills. Remember, the essence of connection lies more in the quality of the interaction than the sheer quantity. One heartfelt, meaningful conversation can nourish your spirit far more profoundly than 100 superficial exchanges. So, if today feels unusually quiet or solitary, take the initiative. Reach out, make that first move, rekindle old bonds, or be open to forming new ones. Because the more you intentionally open your heart to connection, the more life, in turn, will open its arms to welcome you. Keep your mind actively stimulated every day. Have you ever experienced those moments of forgetfulness, like misplacing your keys or finding yourself struggling to recall a name that once came effortlessly to mind? It can be tempting to dismiss these instances as merely an inevitable consequence of aging. However, the truth is that your mind, very much like your physical body, benefits immensely from regular exercise and engagement. And crucially, it's never too late to begin strengthening your cognitive faculties. Providing your mind with stimulation involves more than just habitually completing crossword puzzles or skimming the daily news headlines, although those can certainly be part of it. It's fundamentally about actively challenging your brain, introducing it to new concepts and ideas, and purposefully keeping your innate sense of curiosity alive and well. When you consistently nourish your mind, you're not only taking proactive steps to protect your memory function, but you're also enriching each day, making it feel more vibrant and interesting. Consider Janet, a 74-year-old retired teacher. After transitioning into retirement, she began to notice that her mind felt perhaps a little less sharp than it used to. Names seemed to escape her more frequently, and details of conversations sometimes blurred together. Understandably, she worried that this might signify the onset of a more significant decline. But instead of passively accepting this perceived change, Janet made a conscious and simple decision to be proactive. Every morning, she dedicated 15 minutes to working on a crossword puzzle and committed another 30 minutes to reading something new, delving into biographies, exploring historical accounts, or even appreciating poetry. Additionally, she bravely enrolled in an online Spanish class designed for beginners. Within a span of just a few months, Janet felt a noticeable difference. She perceived herself as sharper, more focused, and found she had a wealth of new stories and insights to share with her friends. Her personal world effectively expanded, and along with it, her self-confidence blossomed. You don't need to undertake overwhelming or overly complex tasks to effectively stimulate your mind. Small, consistent steps wield considerable power. Commit to reading just a few pages of an engaging book each day. Try the challenge of learning a few new words in a foreign language. Engage in games that require strategic thinking, such as chess, Sudoku, or even simple card games like solitaire or bridge. Consider writing a brief journal entry reflecting on your day's experiences or thoughts. Make an effort to engage in deeper, more substantive conversations with others, moving beyond superficial small talk. The essential strategy is to remain curious, consistently ask questions, be open to exploring new hobbies or interests, and occasionally break from your established routines to introduce novelty. When you actively stretch your mental capabilities, you invite fresh energy and vitality into your life. And that wonderful feeling of being truly alive and engaged never has to diminish significantly with age. If you notice your day starting to feel a bit too routine or monotonous, set a small goal for yourself. Aim to learn just one new thing today, however minor it may seem. Because every new idea encountered, every small challenge embraced, and every moment of curiosity indulged acts like a refreshing breath of fresh air for your brain. It ensures that you're not just growing older, but actively growing wiser and mentally stronger with each passing year. Practice daily gratitude and reflection. Have you ever become aware of how easily our focus can drift towards what seems to be lacking in our lives, rather than appreciating what remains beautiful and positive? As the years accumulate, experiencing losses becomes a natural part of the human journey. We may lose loved ones, see opportunities pass, or even face declines in aspects of our physical health. But within this reality lies a potent truth. Where you consciously choose to direct your attention profoundly shapes how you perceive and experience each day that unfolds. Engaging in daily practices of gratitude and reflection isn't about adopting a Pollyannish view or pretending that life is devoid of challenges. Instead, it's about deliberately acknowledging that even during the most difficult days, there are invariably still reasons to find a smile, moments to feel a sense of pride, and glimmers of hope to hold on to. Take the example of George, a 79-year-old retired firefighter. After his wife passed away, the profound silence within his home felt almost overwhelming. Memories of their shared past frequently surfaced, casting a shadow over his evenings. Initially, George felt that nothing could possibly alleviate the deep ache of his grief. However, one morning, he decided to try a simple practice. Before beginning his day, he started writing down 3 specific things for which he felt grateful. Some days, these items were remarkably simple. The comforting warmth of the sun on his skin, the sound of his grandchildren's laughter during a phone call, or the simple pleasure of a well-brewed cup of coffee. Over a period of time, something truly remarkable began to occur. George's fundamental perspective started to shift. While the sadness didn't entirely disappear, it gradually ceased to dominate his entire existence. Cultivating gratitude created space within him for peace to enter, and in turn, that growing sense of peace made room for moments of joy to resurface. You can begin incorporating this practice just as simply. Each morning, perhaps take a few moments to mentally note or physically write down 3 things, large or small, for which you feel genuinely thankful. Before settling down for the night, consciously reflect on one specific moment from the day that brought a smile to your face, regardless of how fleeting or minor it might seem. Dedicate a few minutes each day to breathing deeply and mindfully, simply appreciating the fundamental gift of being alive. Practicing gratitude doesn't involve denying or dismissing your struggles. Rather, it's about consciously choosing to honor the blessings in your life alongside acknowledging the hardships. It's about intentionally allowing the positive aspects of your life to occupy more space in your heart than the pain does. Reflection serves to deepen this practice even further. Sitting quietly for just 5 minutes a day, whether through prayer, meditation, engaging in mindfulness exercises, or simply gazing thoughtfully out your window can help clear mental clutter, reduce feelings of anxiety, and gently remind you of what truly holds significance in your life. If you ever find yourself feeling lost, burdened, or overwhelmed by circumstances, take a deliberate pause. Look around you, both internally and externally. There is almost always something positive to notice. Perhaps a bird perched on the windowsill, the comfort of a warm quilt, or a kind word shared by a neighbor. These small points of light still shine. And when you intentionally train your heart and mind to recognize and appreciate these small lights, life, even when lived primarily alone, becomes richer, more meaningful, and filled with quiet, often unexpected miracles. Finally, find a way to help others, even in small, everyday ways. Have you ever noticed the interesting phenomenon that extending help or kindness to others often has a way of filling your own heart with positive feelings as well? As we grow older, and particularly if we find ourselves living alone, it can sometimes feel as though our role or significance in the broader world has somehow diminished. But the empowering truth is that your accumulated kindness, your invaluable wisdom gained through life experience, and your simple acts of caring and consideration are arguably more valuable and needed than ever before. Contributing to the well-being of others doesn't necessitate grand, heroic gestures or undertaking massive efforts. It's often about showing up for people in small, yet deeply meaningful ways that serve as a reminder, both to yourself and to those you interact with, that you still possess so much of value to offer the world. Consider the story of Margaret, an 82-year-old former nurse. After retiring from her dedicated career, she occasionally experienced feelings of invisibility, as if the bustling world had somehow moved on without her. But then, she made the decision to start volunteering just a few hours each week at her local community food pantry. Her role didn't involve strenuous tasks like lifting heavy boxes or rushing around. Instead, she focused on greeting people at the door with a genuinely warm smile, handing out bags of essential food items, and, perhaps most importantly, offering a compassionate listening ear when someone needed to share their burdens or simply feel heard. Before long, Margaret came to realize that those few hours spent volunteering filled her heart with a greater sense of joy and profound purpose than she had experienced in many years. You don't necessarily need to engage in formal volunteer programs to make a positive difference in the lives of others. There are countless simpler ways to contribute. Check in on a neighbor with a quick, friendly phone call just to see how they are doing. Take the time to write a thoughtful letter or send a card to an old friend you haven't connected with recently. Consider mentoring a younger person, either online through established programs or via local community initiatives. Share a comforting home-cooked meal with someone in your circle who might appreciate the gesture. Simply offer a patient and non-judgmental listening ear to someone who is currently going through a difficult time. The underlying secret is to try and integrate acts of giving into your regular daily or weekly rhythm, much like you would incorporate brushing your teeth or taking your morning walk. These acts don't need to be monumental in scale. They just need to be offered with sincerity and genuine care. Furthermore, helping others inherently keeps you connected to the community around you. It effectively pulls you out of potential isolation and gently reintegrates you into the beautiful, intricate web of human connection. Every smile you share, every small kindness you extend, every story you take the time to truly listen to, it all genuinely matters. So, if you ever find yourself feeling a little adrift, a little uncertain about your place or value in the world, please remember this fundamental truth. You still possess tremendous power to positively touch the lives of others. And in the very act of giving, even in seemingly small measures, you invariably receive something truly priceless in return. A renewed sense of meaning, a comforting feeling of belonging, and the simple, enduring joy that comes from making someone else's day just a little bit brighter. In conclusion, have you ever truly grasped how the smallest, quietest choices we make each and every day possess the cumulative power to shape the entire trajectory and quality of a life? Navigating the path of growing older primarily on your own might not have been the future you originally envisioned or planned for, but it absolutely can still be a life brimming with authentic beauty, quiet strength, and profound, personal meaning. The essential truth lies in understanding that the experience of loneliness and the experience of peaceful solitude are often separated by a simple, yet significant line: the consistent habits you consciously choose to cultivate each morning, each afternoon, and each evening. By intentionally building a daily routine that provides structure, gently moving your body to maintain vitality, actively staying socially connected with others, purposefully keeping your mind engaged and curious, regularly practicing gratitude for life's blessings, and finding meaningful ways to offer kindness to those around you, you actively create a life that feels genuinely rich, perhaps not in constant noise or activity, but certainly in purpose and contentment. If these ideas have resonated with you today, please consider liking this video and sharing your own thoughts or experiences in the comments section below. Think of each new day as a fresh canvas presented before you. Even if no one else happens to pick up a paintbrush alongside you, you still hold the inherent power to fill that canvas with vibrant color, deep meaning, and moments of genuine joy. Recall the examples we discussed, like Robert, who discovered a new, stabilizing rhythm after experiencing loss, like Eleanor, who steadily regained her physical strength one deliberate step at a time, like Frank, Janet, George, and Margaret, each finding their own unique ways to thrive. You, too, possess the capacity to thoughtfully craft a life that is fully and beautifully your own, reflecting your values and bringing you satisfaction. You don't need to attempt to change everything all at once overnight. Start gently, perhaps by choosing just one small, manageable habit today. Select one action that feels genuinely good to your spirit and patiently build upon that foundation from there. Life after 60, 70, or even 80 is not meant to be a gradual fading away. It can, and should, be viewed as a powerful, ongoing unfolding of potential and wisdom. You are still needed. You are still remarkably capable. And your best days, filled with hope, heart, and happiness, can still lie ahead. It all begins with one small, brave choice at a time. We encourage you to subscribe to Old Age Wisdom for more content designed to support you on this journey, and perhaps share this video with a friend who might find it beneficial.